let's jump into things. Where we at? 10:30, 10:33 to be precise, on the 6th of February. Thursday now, so we're coming into the tail end of the week, and change things up a little bit here. Let's only go through this quickly because this was a great trade. This is copper that obviously sort of been tracking and sort of trading the last week or so. Um, First little break here yesterday was nice. I was like, oh, this is cool. And it's funny, had three positions on, got this pop here, and that's what I do. I sell the pops, and I'm, sold here, and I was like, oh, that's good. You know what I mean? Lock a bit in, and then comes all the way back down to this little point back here, actually. But it wasn't too bad because sort of like, I got back in a little bit lower with that sort of position as well, and then bang, absolutely ripped through to that price target overnight. I was sort of thinking, look, maybe if it comes back here, we can see the buyers step in around these zones over here. But as you can see here on open, it's just gone bang and exploded up through the highs there. So really, look, if we take a step back, we can have a look because this is the top end of that range, and also the sort of fake out spike that we had uh, going way back just before the election. Which obviously that was where I was calling it the heartbreaker because it was, I mean, look at this, it was just, you get on boom, 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 every single time. So, and hence why I sort of sell the pops because, you get the pop and then, of course, what can happen afterwards. But we're really sort of picking up some steam up here in that, and obviously sort of coming up above this level here. This is what was sort of deemed a bit of our sort of breakout zone. We can see at the moment it's just shut up. Look, it's been super vertical. So I would say it still needs a little bit of time just to chill, take it easy kind of thing. So, I mean, although price target's here, which, you can't go wrong with a price target, um, it's moving up above this zone. It's clipped out anybody that was short up around this area. It's super vertical. It's overbought. I think this will provide a little bit of an entry, so to come back over to, maybe around this 447 area. A retest of this zone would seem like a pretty fitting sort of little place for it. But of course, as we know, with copper, particularly in that, it can do deeper sort of pullbacks. So again, look, I actually took it out. I sort of deleted because I put a little screenshot on, but around, this zone down here, and this is a arbitrary kind of place actually. Now, you know what? I'm going to delete that because there's no point putting an arbitrary sort of thing in. Watch what's going to happen up here is my sort of take on it. As I said, this is a 4 hour. We're overbought. It's just exploded up. Potentially a bit of a pullback. I'm probably looking at a little bit of a cooling in metals. I'll get to gold in a moment, which has broken its trend and coming into a resistance and it's forming a little neckline. So I think sort of like copper will sort of follow suit with these things. So if we see a little bit of a cooling off, maybe a little bit of a bit of rebalancing of DXY, there's so much to cover at the moment, but these kind of things may sort of lead to this sort of coming back down here. And if we can see, this sort of start to move back down, move around like this, this may provide us with a move similar to sort of come back down here and then move back up like that. So, where we are at the moment, I think sort of in terms of sort of levels in with a 4 hour, you want to see a back test of 447, though, as I said, it was a shot. Look at how quick this thing has just moved here. It just opened and just went bang through the roof. I mean, that's a fast, fast move. This is, that's 1.5%. These are 5 minute candles in 15 minutes. That's insane. So I wouldn't be surprised if we say, well, hit the stops now, and then, okay, we'll come back down over here. So even at this level here, you may see a little bit of a response, but I'm expecting more, like this is obviously on a very low time frame here, a push back down here, a move up here, and then we should push down over here. So maybe we start to look at some of these other levels over here. Let's jump on a 1 hour minimum, I'd say. And look, that was probably, it was in a little bit of no man's land, but I would say this area through here. I don't know why this is running so chuggy this morning. Um, this is where I might sort of look for a little bit of a retest through this area here. Because I do think this will sort of give way down here. You'll see, I mean, you've hit the stops, you've taken that stuff out, and we could see that sort of come back down a little bit deeper. And certainly back down, if I can get it back down around 440 to 443 in this zone down here, I'd be looking for the bounce to then sort of come back up and permanently, sort of sustain, hold a move back above this range. But first attempts out, generally, like we saw yesterday, this was, as I said a second ago, so I started off with this, popped up here, that's fine. I took some profit, came back down here, I rebought it again, and then bang, straight up here. That's fine. We could possibly see something similar to this in the sense of it move up here, come back down, deeper, 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 and then rip back up again. I mean, this could also come back down to 440. So, yeah, I think certainly for the moment it's to hit price target. This is a new thing. Well, a new thing. This is a thing for myself, and that I say new because I'm trying to sort of enact it more often. Hit the price target, just chill, just take it easy, because there's a lot of times you hit the price target and you get a little bit too sort of caught up in it all, and you end up just giving back portions. So yeah, I think look, certainly it was an amazing trade. It's been good. I don't copper's obviously at the end of my analysis generally because it's not for a lot of the time copper doesn't do a lot. You know what I mean? It grinds, it breaks your heart. Look, you can see this wedge. We were trading for a while there, but look, it was all there. It was a very good structural trade, as in we could see the sellers through here. We knew the sellers were here. Once we broke that, little bit of a retest and a sort of like a fake out move, fake breakdown after that breakout, and then bang, it just exploded up into the top end there. So yeah, very good with that one. All right, let's move on to a few of the more sort of popular markets and that. So we've got gold. I don't know what's going on at the moment. This is just chugging along very slow. I'm going to pause this and see if I can fix this. Not quite so sure what's going on with this, but whatever, we'll persist. So yes, gold overnight came up here. Well, it was actually sort of end of Asia, start of Europe, and that sort of took that price target out. Jeez, one sec, this is going to do my head in. All right, cool. So I think I'll just try and sort of persist in that because I can't be bothered trying to stitch these things together afterwards. Look, basically, sort of with it, we hit the price target. That's fine. A little bit of up and down, and that. If we have a look at where this was that sort of rising resistance that we've seen sort of come through a number of times. Hasn't touched for a while. As I said, originally we're thinking sort of back over here when it was moving up like this, but excuse me. Obviously, with these sort of price targets, when they're on these, they're sliding scales. So the longer that we push along here, the longer we sort of put up this price target. Yesterday, I called out that little flag, and obviously we saw the measured move completed here. This is a good example of sort of, I mean, just holding off a little bit. I'm not going to get too sort of crazy on gold over here because price target's been met. We hit the resistance here. We were overbought at the time. Obviously now it's given a little bit of time to chill, but it does kind of almost look like it could be setting up for a little bit of a sort of head and shoulders. This goes in line, as I said a second ago, with like potentially copper, sort of like cooling off a little bit. We could see metals just chill out a little bit. Just not necessarily going to be a sort of like complete meltdown. But if we have a look at this, even just as a measurement, say this, I'm going to take it from the body here, and we say here, oops, and you say that's your little measured move through there. That gives you, let's move this out of the way. Let's price target that. Gives you a little sort of bit of a measured move back down to say around 43, which as you can see, was the top side pretty much of this sort of little zone we had for a breakout yesterday. Look, this could obviously also shoot down a little bit further and just wipe out anybody that sort of held through this last little kick up over here. But the point is at the moment, it's sort of like I'm not really looking necessarily to find the ultimate short or anything like this, but I think that this could certainly see a little bit of a cooling off should we see this sort of move come through here. Something to this effect. Look, the other side of this is potentially a three drive as well at the top here. So we have one, we have two, and this could sort of rip up here a little bit further. So what we'll do is just as another little option, link these two highs together here. And as you can see, yeah, it's oversold. It could want to sort of move up here and we can see another drive and say it comes up to sort of 28.90. But in any event, I think we're getting close to at least there's just a little bit of a sort of an area where we could expect some cooling. I do still maintain this 29.15 as the price target. But as we can see, certainly, there are little pullbacks along the way. Even though we're seeing this main sort of trend moving up through here, there are sort of little areas where we could expect to see little sort of calm downs in price. So look, at the moment, oversold. It's looking like it wants to push up again. I mean, it's that sort of funny time of the morning where we haven't got DXY on board. We'll see a bit of volume come in around 12, 12:15, 12:30. So it's quarter to 11 now. So hour 15 to an hour and a half kind of thing, hour 45. I think that should give some movement there. But if we see this move down underneath this level here, I'm going to make this, so it was the price targets, now we're going to become the neckline. Looking for 28.40s, yeah, 28.45, I think it'd probably be about where we'd be looking there, wasn't it? Measure move, yeah, so measure 28.45, which is 18 bucks or something to the downside there, should we get that little alert go off there. Should we come back down over this side over here, let's have a look on a different time frame, high time frame here. Look, as you can see, the 4 hours certainly sort of rolling over a little bit here. Look, that doesn't mean it can't just go here and then sort of pop back up a little bit higher as well. But again, as I said, a couple of factors laid together. One, this being this sort of like top end of this channel up over here. For my own self, the price target was hit. That little measured move from yesterday, whoops, that little measured move from yesterday completed. It's obviously sort of consolidating, sort of stalling around the highs over here. I think that makes a nice little wedge, as you can see, for this potentially to sort of just come back down. I don't think this is going to be like, okay, here's the top and bang, we come down here. But I do think we could potentially get some better buys from around the 40s. And this is probably what I'm going to be looking for because, yeah, I just don't want to buy it after we've, completed that price target, resistance, RSI's rolling over, 4 hour, got a nice little wedge here. I think this could see a nice little fast move. All right, move along and have a look at how's silver holding up. So silver chugging along. So again, through the price target, I was saying, look, it would have been nice to get back on board down around the sort of like 31.78, but it's persisting and just pushing up. A lot of wicks up around here though, so and it's overbought as well. This is again on the 4 hour. I mean, there's obviously some indecision with the market. It's trying to go higher, trying to shake it out. They're buying it up. Let's put a little box. I think that's really what you're going to want to see in that. A close outside this box. Look, even a close up around 46 could still just move up, reject, and wick down. So I'd want to see these wicks taken out 32.50. If it does decide to come back down a little bit, I'm still probably looking at something like this. I don't think we're going to be seeing like this massive pullback down to this zone over here. I think this part is kind of gone, so this could be even sort of, you know, excuse me, around these two zones here. Should this break back down under here, potentially you could see it sort of like, you know, back down 31.70 still, or 31.40. But I think sort of anywhere in this area here, I'd be looking to sort of buy. Again, similar with copper, breaks out, sucks a few people in, shakes them out, then it moves. I think we've got some potential for that kind of move there. I mean, look, all in all, it's broken out of this little channel and it is making its way back up here. So I do think realistically your next price targets are up around 33.30 and change. But you know, again, doesn't mean that it can't sort of stuff around a little bit on the way up there. It's a little bit steep, but it's doable. But in any event, I would say probably looking for a little bit of pullback through this zone here. Maybe if you get down, if this channel is, it's not confirmed, you got two touches, and this is an iffy touch on this one. But you got sort of kind of these angles between here, here, and here, and here all look pretty good. So that would be a bit of a channel. So a little bit of a roll over, 31.70, and then a move up. But I do think 33.30 is probably on the cards at some stage. Move it along, we got DXY, which is copping a beating, absolute beating. So technical wise on a large size, this you got the wedge. We had that sort of beautiful call with the underside of that rising support, which is the wedge bottom, it's also the channel bottom, and it's just melted down since. So look, this was sort of what I was looking for, what was going to happen here. I thought we may have got a bit more of a bounce to go through here, but obviously decided to just cruise right through and finally close that gap. So remember, it didn't actually quite close the gap in that last week after, I can't remember which particular new bit of this. One thing with this at the moment, if this is how it is for the next 4 years, this is wild. It's insane. Like there is a headline coming out every day, if not two times a day, that are just sort of rocking the market. Um, yeah, it's pretty wild. But look, we are seeing this big meltdown through here. It came through this zone where we thought buyers might have given it a bit more of an effort. Didn't, obviously. So look, it moved up a little bit. We had some data out last night, which was ISM and ADP. ADP actually sort of surprised to the top side here. And then ISM was a little bit of a fail. So obviously fail, weaker US dollar. The jolts positive. So I was expecting a cool down. What was it revised from? Revised. Ooh, that's revised up big. Revised up 50k. But any event, you know, they're expecting 148. Came in 183, so that's very strong. That's dollar positive. And this was at 12.15. And if you look at the price action around that time, and this is why it's important to be watching both. So 12.15 is this point here. And as you can see, the news came out, market said, well, that's dollar bullish, moved up, and what they used it as an occasion just to smash and sell into it. Boom, back down here. 2 o'clock, so this is, what's it called? ISM, dollar week, move down, bang, and look at that, that's as close as you get to an alert without it actually going off. Very, very tight. Um, so look, where are we at the moment? Let's draw up a couple of little zones and then we can see sort of potentially what they might be doing. Look, these smaller zones I'm not really too fussed about. This one's 30 minutes, but minimum 1 hour. You can see obviously they're trying to sort of roll it over here. It's offline at the moment, so we'll see how this goes. But I'll make this a little zone here. I would say that this is kind of sort of what'll be kind of important. Look, I could see this having a little bit of a squeeze. I mean, this is overbought on the 1 hour, so 4 hour. 4 hour looks like it wants to go. Basically inverse of what we're seeing with the other ones there. Watch how this opens. I think maybe a little bit of a move down and then a sort of a move up higher. I wouldn't be surprised if we get a bit of a squeeze. You are possibly coming into the bottom side of this sort of range through here, which has sort of said, look, this is where the buys definitely were. So most likely, there's a good chance we see them as the sellers through here as well. So I do think the upside of DXY is going to be limited. I think it'll be capped. But in saying that, I do think that this goes in line with potentially a little bit of cooling with, say, gold and with gold and with copper, Aussie, these kind of things. Give this a little bit of a time to sort of get up here, retest the underside here, maybe a little bit of a push up high here, and then target these lows here again. So I think this is probably, if we get these out of the way for now so we don't get charts too messy. Up like this and then back down. This is kind of what we're looking for at the moment. Look, this could just go straight back down over here. It could obviously shoot back up over here. I know that's kind of, covers yourself by being in every camp. But, from the structural sort of standpoint, top side of this falling, what was falling resistance, breakout, falling support now, back test. I think that's worth a little bit. I don't think it's as major as this big structure was, so I don't think it'll hold as much weight. But you've got a couple of things. Close the gap, oversold, back test to the top side here. I think this is due for a little bit. I mean, look at this sell down as well. It's been a big smacking since the start of the week. But look, I think this could balance up a little bit. Let's actually drag. So yeah, potentially up to say the 23 or the 38. 38, I think, is probably a bit of a stretch. But anything's possible. End of the day, it is still relatively bullish around the whole thing. Um, but yeah, I would say I wouldn't be surprised if we get a little bit of a push up here. Provide us with some better entries for these other pairs, products, whatever, and then sort of look to sort of get long with those things again. So I think hold fire if you're looking for longs, and if you want to go short, I think small positions, because that way if it runs away, well, we can get out. But trading against the trend, small positions seem to be key for it all, very much so. So yeah, I think that's just what I'm looking for DXY here. Move along, we got Aussie. Aussie's been ripping right up. Another one that sort of came right into that price target that we had placed out. That was a great run. Geez, what am I doing here? Great run with Aussie yesterday, right up into that price target. Tipped it back down here, back test of this zone that we'd already had marked out. You can see maybe on the 4 hour, and then bang, just exploded back up to the top side over here. But again, you're seeing these things overbought, hitting price targets. This is the body fill. Remember the big sell downs? That's the body fill. That's a great magnet for these things. So a little bit of cooling off. See how deep. I mean, obviously, market loves to sell Aussie in that. So you could shake down here, back down to these 70s. Look, I think if you could get around the 70s again, I think that'd give you a pretty nice little area to recharge, reload. Remember, this has been a big push off the lows. Look at this push off the lows here. I mean, look, even if it came back down to 46, it's still on 23% pullback of this move up. So I don't think it's worth sort of going too hard, too heavy, too quickly, sorry. But I think this is obviously where we're kind of looking for next, because this is major breakout area, which I don't think, if this is going to come now in this move, I think is going to be your DXY, sorry, DXY, your NFP moment. I think that's what's going to get that up to potentially get for major breakouts. I don't think it's just going to go off that on general flows. One, two, three, four, five. I think that's how that thing works. So one, two, three. Look for some pullbacks and then look to reload. So again, just chill out for these positions just for now, I reckon. Look, I could be wrong and these things could just keep on running on here, but that's the name of the game. These things have moved a lot and they're very steep. So yeah, better entries I think are just a little bit safer. Above 63 pretty much. It never quite closed that gap up here as well, so 63.10. But yeah, above 63, and we could see this sort of thing and move on a little bit more. And finally, with China, look, it's just really sort of consolidating the lows down here. It got back down underneath this zone where we saw the sellers for that neckline become buyers, and they're back to sellers again. So that gives us a nice little level that we can see that the market is certainly working off. This is the level it needs to get above. Downside, look, it is slowing a little bit. I think I haven't actually heard anything on the conversation with Xi. I heard it was supposed to be happening earlier in the week. Hasn't seemed to have come through yet. So yeah, I'm not really sure what's happening with that at the moment, but I think the market certainly will be waiting to see what they say there. I'm in the camp of them saying that they will um, come to some sort of resolution, some deal. But of course, at the moment they're talking tough. Well, talking tough as in not talking at all and saying, okay, we're just going to slap 10% back at you. So yeah, we'll see how that one sort of goes. But I think for now, if you draw a little box, I think this will give us a bit of direction. Take out the wicks down here. You do have little supports just down underneath here, so the downside may be limited just for the time being. It is a little bit oversold here as well, but I wouldn't be surprised if we get a bit of a push up, test this top side, and then come down. Similar to sort of what we're looking for with DXY. So it's a breakout box, and I'll be looking for like potentially a little push up here. This will come in line with Aussie selling down a little bit, and then maybe a move down from here, similar to this move here as it was dribbling up, kiss it, and then bang, down. That's probably what I'll be looking for here. All right, so I think that's pretty much it. I think, again, news is fairly light through the session today. What do we have? Yeah, nothing. No, what have we got? Oh, no, we got a bit of Aussie data coming out here. Okay, this could be something to keep an eye on. Looking like a little bit of a tick down. Look, it's not a major bit of data. It's something to sort of, tick into one column or the other column, though. And obviously, this is more in, they want to sort of keep the trade balance probably as elevated as possible. Business confidence, it's pretty shot. This could be ticking. I wouldn't be surprised if the last couple of business confidence things have actually been a little bit more positive. So I think these kind of things could definitely keep Aussie in the game at this level. So which means sort of like if it does have a little bit of cooling off, I think the downside will be somewhat limited. Through the rest of the day, nothing really of note. Okay, but. We've got BOE tonight. This one I didn't actually sort of pick up earlier. 25 base point cut seems pretty much in line with what most people are doing at the moment. The thing with these cuts, though, have been very much, I covered this the other day, that their cutting has generally sort of, because they're so like telegraphed, they're kind of leading to uh, buy the room, sell the news kind of thing. And we could see as this cut comes in, 11 o'clock tonight, um, market actually push it up a little bit. That could push DXY down. BOE doesn't tend to move DXY a great deal, but again, obviously the pound makes up part of DXY, so it will have some sort of effect on it there. But if it goes in line with what we have seen more recently, like with the ECB, BOC, these kind of things, the flow has been immediate boom and then bang, buy up afterwards. Unemployment claims looking to tick up. If this comes in a little bit higher, that's dollar weakish. And that's about it, sort of going through news. And then obviously we got NFP tomorrow. Where is the NFP. NFP, as I said, the main thing I'm looking for is this revision. I think this will be revised down. ADP, excuse me, has been said to be a bit of an indicator, but I find the correlation between ADP and NFP is very negligent. So I don't really sort of think you're going to get too much insight by looking at ADP and then sort of trying to call NFP numbers. Actually, just one last thing here as well. We'll just have a quick look. Gold silver ratio hit that price target we had, which is beautiful. This was that big pop on silver and gold the other night, which was a great trade. Look, it's coming in here. It's found support exactly where we thought it would be. That's good. Means it's sort of running on the chart, but it's consolidating this area. So I think if you want to see another push down, push up on metals, you want to see this break through this zone here. So pretty much where we've got the alerts. Look, we could say it's a little bit lower underneath these lows over here to be a bit safer, but I think this at least puts it on the radar and you start looking at it then as it starts to move down its most recent lows. There will be some support through these zones here. So the confirmation will be down underneath this level here. Down underneath here, really look, there's a couple of chop areas over here, but this is the one that we've been looking for, this sort of rising support. I think this is going to be a crucial sort of one here. It could be seen two sides, one of a ascending triangle, so we could see this move up over here. Look, I think that's potential. If you think about it in the sense of how elevated gold is, and we see this push back down over here, and it bounces off this zone over here, I think this could sort of see gold push through to that 29.15 price target, bounce back up here with gold silver ratio, and you see a little bit more of a medium term cooling on gold after it hits that higher time frame price target, that measured move from the triangle. So I think it's certainly important to watch around here. That's going to be an interesting level. But I do think we have a little bit of cooling, over the next sort of week or so, coming down to this area over here. Once we see this, I think this is the time that, we'll get a make or break here. Should you break through here, well, you're going on to, 3,000 plus on gold, in my opinion. All right, that's it from me.